Phenomenal. We should start this thing. I'm already recording. But
we're recording?
We
Okay.
should, officially say that we've begun.
It's just bits, and now we return to our conversation.
The conversation we were already having. I think you gotta, move your microphone a little to that side.
What's that?
Just
This?
talk. Yeah, there you
How
go.
about, I mean, no,
you were perfect.
I put it in front of my mouth now. I know I'm perfect.
It feels like now we start. I had a fucking good one while you were texting. Drugs of the jungle, drugs for you and me. I was like, nice.
I wish I knew the rest of the George of the Jungle theme song.
Jesus Christ. I know Tuki Tuki's in there somewhere.
Well, Brendan Fraser, if you're still feeling bad, try some drugs.
Well, Brendan Fraser, the next time you run into drugs of the jungle, look out for that tree, by the way, was the other one.
Look out for those trees. Marijuana type trees, folks. Am I right? Can't let the cops know.
Look out for those cops. Drugs.
Nah, weed's not cool anymore.
Friend to you.
It's still good.
It's still cool, I argue. Yeah. Kids, do it.
Kids do. I mean, yeah, kid. You know, you can call teenagers kids.
Yeah.
If you're
17?
15 and over, you should be doing drugs. Not should. Should be allowed to.
No, should. You will be doing drugs.
Listen, if you are 15 and listening to this, I'm not telling you to do drugs. I'm telling you to tell your parents to buy you drugs.
And I'm telling you, you will be doing drugs. You don't have a choice.
Right, but in terms of what this podcast endorses in a legally actionable sense, I'm telling you to tell your parents to buy you drugs. Which is basically the same thing as when Disney Channel says, with your parents' permission, go to DisneyChannel.com.
Yeah,
so
it's the same exact thing. They're both.
And I don't even hate Jews, so I'm better than Disney. You can't do anything about it, cops.
If kids could drink Coke and Pepsi, then they can do Coke and marijuana.
Pepsi bottle, Coca-Cola glass. I don't give a damn.
What the fuck?
That's a kid. There's just a video of he's like 13 with a hilarious accent, and he's just pouring Coke. He's just pouring Pepsi into a Coke glass, and he's like, I don't give a damn.
The internet, still undefeated. So you find these things on the internet in between screaming at strangers, right?
Yeah.
Or is it just kind of the same time?
I'm literally not screaming at strangers. I think a thing, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure this is true, but if it weren't, I wouldn't tell myself. So I just say it to a bunch of people, and I'm not going to go to my friends and be like, what do you think of the labor theory of value? I wouldn't have any. So I say it on the internet, and then I don't know if it's going to mean anything, but it's,
I think one day you'll accidentally become a history professor, and it'll all make sense.
Maybe
just stumble into it. You're gonna take a wrong turn on the way to an editing demonstration and start teaching a class.
It's like, wait, this is history.
This is like you'll think you're teaching an editing demonstration, but still, even in an editing demonstration, you're screaming about politics.
And by the way, Premiere, it's just one product. Why do you have to pay monthly for it? Because we don't produce anything for use in this society. It's all produced for profit. And that's how you get shit like Dunkin' Donuts throwing out food when they're starving people. Anyway, kill... God, someone.
Anyway,
kill the motor.
Che Guevara out of this Photoshop image.
Coloring book where you just have to color in Che Guevara.
And you can
or that coloring book that the FBI
wings.
made and pretended it was by the Black Panthers.
Which one was that again?
It was a coloring book that essentially encouraged black children to murder the police, and the FBI made it and said the Black Panthers made it. And the Black Panthers were like, we have these guns because we're walking kids to school, and you freaks want to have a big old problem with that. I mean, the Black Panthers did cooler stuff than that, too, that the cops would have had a different... It's not all just walking kids to school, but it was like that and breakfast programs.
Was how it started.
Yeah.
Fred Hampton, give it up. My boy. I think I'm going to start dedicating every performance to Fred Hampton. Just see how long, because it's a good, this is another thought experiment, because it's a good thing to do, but since I'm a straight white dude, see how long it takes for people to be like, I don't know what's wrong with it, but I just can't support it. Before somebody sits me down and is like, stop dedicating fucking performances to Fred Hampton.
He's a good guy to dedicate performances to.
Yeah, but as a straight white dude, how many can you do before somebody is like, I have some notes.
Fred might not agree.
Oh, yeah. I guess he was pretty inclusionist.
He might, though.
Yeah.
No, yeah, Fred was good, folks.
Fred's a good guy.
That's why you know that, because
Fred is still a good guy. He's actually Obama. I don't know if you know that.
Don't fucking insult Fred like that.
Nice. God. Oh my God, have you seen there's this thing on Netflix, it's called the America the Motion Picture. It is no. It's making fun of everything you think it is.
Is it?
Yeah, no.
I bet I still wouldn't like it.
There is a gigantic scene where it's like, we got to get into that bar, and the name of the bar is Vietnam. And they're like, but we could spend years in that bar and accomplish nothing.
Yes.
Like that kind of shit. They literally do that shit. It's fucking phenomenal.
I'm not currently up on the history of Vietnam, but by the way, the Vietnamese, I think, came to Americans about, like, help us get the French out of here or something like that. You guys like freedom, right? And America's like, fuck off. You seem a little lefty. And then they were like, okay, I guess we'll, I don't know, do whatever they ended up doing.
Yeah.
The entire history of the Cold War, as it was taught, was that, like, communists are mean, and Americans just have to fix it. And usually it was... Soviet Union was pretty bad up at the top, but, you know, was also replacing dictators, and every country other than in the actual Soviet Federation, who were forced to be part of the Soviet Federation because they're bad too. But like the Vietnams and your Cubas, those were like, they weren't like, we love the Soviets.
They were like juniors, right?
What?
Your
Cuba Gooding Jr. Yeah.
Okay, good.
Cuba is good, Junior. I said to my son.
At the end of his bedtime story.
Yeah, no, his bedtime story is the story of the Cuban Revolution, which is heartwarming, by the way.
How so?
And it's it goes as Cuba gets worse, and there are shitty things done by Cuba, mainly in response to the United States. But the Cuban Revolution itself the government was run by the mob, basically, and a dictator. And Fidel Castro and Che Guevara, with a tiny force of people, were like, no, we're liberating this country. Fidel tried to do it as a lawyer.
Like the little toaster.
It was like basically the Brave Little Toaster. And there's like...
Oh my God, the Brave Little Toaster is fucking propaganda for the communists that we just never caught on to.
Maybe. I have to watch it again. I bet I could make that case.
I bet you could. See, he's a lawyer. Are you clicking shit?
I am clicking coins. Okay. I should stop.
That's fine. I thought the dog was eating something. You can continue. I just need to know.
Sure, that sounds great.
Honestly, probably. Yeah.
No, there's a great line from Fidel after he got kicked out like fairly quickly after he tried to do one revolutionary thing, trained a bunch of people in Mexico, absolutely botched getting back to Cuba, and there's like 12 of them left. And he goes,
no bueno.
And he goes, so we got 12, and do we have any rifles? And they go, yeah. And he goes, we've already won the war. And then they did.
We've already won the war.
And then
Jesus Christ.
A bunch of mobsters and casino owners got so mad that they sent a whole bunch of pigs into a bay to kill Fidel Castro.
Literal pigs.
Yeah.
The Bay of Pigs was actually just a cookout. That's all it was.
That would have been nice. It's fucked up that...
Like a pig boil. Just somebody who doesn't understand what, like they assume that any gathering is a boil.
Yeah. I went to this fireworks boil. That was a 4th of July party. They didn't even have food. It was just...
So like, well, they were boiling hot. Like, yeah, dude, you're really stretching. Guys.
Are you going to the judge boil today? Again, this is your hearing. This is your sentencing hearing because you kept calling everything a boil during your trial.
Guys, everybody come to my get out of jail boil after this. You're going right back to jail if you keep that shit up, sir.
What are you boiling? Judge.
A gavel. I do like the idea that, like...
Judge, please don't boil your gavel. I have more to say.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Just fucking shut up.
Fuck it. I do like the idea that he's like, oh, yeah, a lobster boil, a crawfish boil,
steak boil.
A ribs boil. Right. Yeah, just shit like that.
A mac and cheese boil.
Exactly.
Wait, actually.
I got a little bit. A mac and cheese party. How is that mac and cheese and grilled cheese? Like not as a
pizza
sandwich,
boil.
although the big pizza boil. But how has that not become a thing for millennials to do? Just like a mac and cheese party like you do for ribs or burgers and brats and shit. I feel like we're missing out.
I feel like maybe millennials just are like, let's go hang out. And we don't. We're like, we're not going to make it an activity because we may not have the money.
Food. But the amounted type is to be
just have food. I did that yesterday with my cousins. I was like, I just Like, I'm going to come over to your house at this time.
Mm-hmm.
And then we did. And then we brought beers, and there was shit in the freezer. And it was fine. Did you guys know you don't have to plan stuff that much?
Yeah, no, it's great. You can also Uber Eats. That's always an option. So if everybody's
I
like...
can't.
I'm hungry. So am I. Here's money.
We do food now.
In exchange for goods and services.
It is... People are going to keep doing it this way because it would be weird to do it otherwise. But we do have so many fucking things that are an excuse to hang out. It's just like...
Yeah. It's like, you want to go meet up for food? No. You want to go get coffee? No. Well, I guess we're not going to hang out.
But it is... As I've become more normal, which every time I get more normal, I realize how normal I still am not.
Inside.
Well, I also die a little bit inside. No, it's like that Dunning-Kruger effect where it's like, you don't know how much you don't know. And
Until
every
you
time
know
I
more.
get better at interacting with people,
learn, yeah.
I learn how much I don't know. But anyway,
So you're like God damn it, not Lennian of Mice and Men.
I'm a little bit.
I was gonna say Flowers for Algernon, but for social cues. So just a really smart Flowers for Algernon, just acing all these tests. But then afterwards, he just had to talk to a guy. He's like, no.
Well, also in the sense that drinking makes me really personal, but it's also killing me.
Well, no, that's the opposite, because drinking made him an asshole.
Well, no, but in Flowers for Algernon, the thing that's making him smart is killing him. So the
yeah.
thing that's making me able to talk to
There you
people
go.
is drastically reducing my lifespan.
You don't have a mouse in your house that like is on dire straits right now, do you? Because that is a big red flag.
I don't know if he's on dire straits. There's probably mice in there.
I assume they're hardy. It seems like a better environment for mice than you in your apartment.
Both my apartment and the fact that I'm there is good for mice. Because I would not fuck with a mouse. And I keep buying loaves of bread that I forget about.
Have you found any mouse hints?
I don't think there's any mice there. I have not found any. I have not seen any mice or rumor of mice.
Dude, if even mice can't survive in your apartment, consider that the canary, dude. You gotta get out.
I am. I'm annoyed right now because I don't know what date I'm moving, so I don't know what that means for transferring my internet
August
and
1st.
my. We'd like to move sooner if we can, because I don't like this man.
What did your new landlord say? Yeah,
She might be out sooner. She'll
okay.
definitely be out by the 1st, but she might be out sooner.
But just plan on the 1st, man. Don't make it too stressful.
That's what I'm planning. No, but
it's stressful staying.
I want to leave so the guy will stop calling me about showings.
You should just tell him no, because it seems like it's not worth $200.
Maybe I'll just call him and be like, the $200 are worth it's or no.
I have completed $200 worth of work.
I have.
Yes, exactly.
I have.
So if you would like me to continue showing houses, it will cost you more money. Very simple.
He's such a fucking. It's I not to just bitch about my personal shit on the podcast, but I'm not even mad at him anymore. I'm just baffled at how he thinks this works. I said I'm out of town for a certain amount of time, and before I was back from that, he was texting me like when can we do it? Like I don't know. I don't know.
You get a
sense.
portion of the following rent. It's insane. He's literally hitting you up like, so when you coming into work next? Like,
Yeah.
I don't work for you.
Fucking A, man.
It's pretty funny from the outside, if we're being totally honest.
Yeah, I know it's funny because things that are absurd and make me mad are funny from the outside,
Usually, yeah,
and that
pretty-
is
pretty. That's the podcast.
that's all this. That's all.
the
That's
podcast.
why people think I'm cool. Is because I've learned to move from this tone to wow, my landlord's being an entire fucking prick to me.
Yeah, I'm gonna eat him. Just a joke. If we just started saying everything in like radio voice, at one point people would just be like, "This is the best sarcastic comedy show," but we say it too deadpan.
The institution of policing is fundamentally meant to protect property and harm human beings. Whoa.
Next up, we got Dan. Dan, I hear you're a cop. Kill yourself or quit.
Or quit. Yeah, just quit. If you don't want to, if you feel like being a cop has gotten very hard recently, stop.
Find a new job. There are a lot of people who are like, it hasn't. We can do so much and get away with it now. And I'm like, you see the problem?
If
And they're
you're
like,
a
no,
cop-
my job's awesome. And I'm like, bet it is.
Yeah. Well, they need it to be awesome. That's the rich people make some of the poor people's lives awesome if those poor people will hit the rest of the poor people with sticks.
Gestapo.
Yeah, I mean, ICE is more of a Gestapo.
Oh, yeah, that's fair. Because it's more ethnic based.
Yeah.
It's good.
Because, I mean, like, cops is cops, whether or not they're Nazis.
The show.
Yeah.
Cops is always
Well, the show, I keep feeling like, oh, that guy's having a bad day already.
both the officer and the person getting beaten.
No, the cop's having a good day. He got to bully
He
someone.
got to beat somebody.
Bullying is good verbally. You should bully people with words. Call them Nancy boys and big old dumb donkey brains.
And pigs.
Yeah, well, in Kyle, you call them pigs. And then you make a coloring book where the cops are just anthropomorphic pigs that are scared of black children with guns, and you pretend the Black Panthers did it. And then, I guess, get the Chicago police to kill Fred Hampton.
But was it wrong? Was the was the book wrong?
There was. I just keep thinking of the name Giancana. Does that ring a bell for you? Because it does to me.
What?
I think it's someone. I don't know. Sam Giancana was a Chicago mobster who tried to kill Castro, and obviously fucked up.
That is so crazy that American politics are so fucked up that it's like, yeah, this dude from America tried to kill Castro. Because why not? I mean,
Well, no,
and the government was about it.
The government gave him the poison.
It's so
In American history, is so much funnier
fucking
and more fucked up.
ridiculous. We've had multiple celebrity presidents.
Yeah,
Like three
three.
that I know of. Three that have been on TV. Three that have been on
well,
TV.
Kennedy
or
wasn't
movies.
really like Kennedy wasn't like that before he became president.
But he
so
was like a royalty. He was the Kennedy family
because the Kennedys
was
were big,
renowned.
and now they're all dead,
And then before
except for
that,
that weird, very pale Ted III.
there's only like one left because I don't know. The mob finally got him. Blame MI5. Who cares?
I can't remember if the mob likes or dislikes. No, the mob has to like Kennedy.
Yeah, because I thought they were like super connected to the mob.
They were, and his dad was in the mob, and that's kind of how he became president. I don't know. There's too much history.
Yeah, I know, right? Well,
And it's not just one story, by the way. They intersect. It's fucked up.
And you got to think about all the presidents who were, like, if John Wilkes Booth hadn't shot Lincoln, there was a good chance he might have been the next president, like, because he's a celebrity of the time, and like we just don't know.
No,
them as
John
celebrities.
Wilkes Booth was a failed actor. He had a brother that was a good actor.
Oh.
So John Wilkes Booth's brother could have been president
We'll
if his asshole brother hadn't shot the president.
I'll have you know that is the best way to become. What if he was just mad that his brother was more famous than him? And he's like, I'll show him.
I think there are people that think that. I don't know enough about it, but people are like, I mean, failed artists do fucked up shit. Steven Crowder,
Hitler.
You tried, and just as bad.
Equal.
Steven Crowder's a failed stand-up, and that's why he runs a borderline fascist radio show. Hitler, they should have just let him into art school.
Wow,
John Wilkes
somebody
Booth,
better pick up this podcast because if this doesn't start taking off, our views are going to become radically the opposite.
No, you know what?
As radical in reverse.
You know what? A lot of the most insane, fucking bad people have in common.
Real quick, As Radical in Reverse is a very cool name for a DeLorean. Go on.
Yeah, As Radical. This is the tale of Robin Hood in reverse. A lot of those, probably Steven Crowder. I don't know, but I know Hitler was. A lot of them don't drink. If you can just turn your fucking rage at not being as good an artist as you feel like you should be into getting drunk.
Just drink. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, also it makes you a better artist because you have a release valve. Like, so you get fucked up and forget about your troubles and have fun and make memories and interact with human beings when you drink. You don't.
Drugs are like so important. It's so.
Drugs are crucial.
The
to
American
society.
attitude to drugs.
Oh, it's insanity.
It's
Drugs is
so weird.
it-
But not even just insane.
all fucking
pretty
time.
unique.
Yeah.
It didn't used to be like that.
Like religious ceremonies involve drugs all over the world.
There's a book called The History of Vice, A Brief History of Vice. That you should read, and all the listeners should read. It's interesting how weed used to be it's for religious ceremonies.
Yeah, that's what used to be in the thing in Christian churches.
Is that true?
In the thing that would smoke.
The
and
censer,
the
yeah.
Priest. Yeah, it might not be Christian specific, but it's. Was it Hindu? There was some fucking religious ceremony that is very.
There are
like a
definitely
Foghat
religious ceremonies
concert.
that include lots of weed. And there was Timothy Leary did an experiment, and his name's Ram Dass now. I forget what his name was at the time, but Timothy Leary, who was kind of an asshole, and mainly just did a shitload of acid. But his cover for that was researching about acid, and he did do some
Isn't that
extra
how
research.
Isn't that how it goes though?
Yeah. So he did a thing where he took like divinity students, like people that were gonna become ministers, and had them all trip in a church, and most of them are still ministers, and say that was one of the most profound religious experiences of their lives.
Yeah, no shit. Did you see the 3 Mormons all dropped acid, and they interviewed them at various stages of their dropping acid? But
And I'm sure they saw Mormon God.
they were. One of them was like, "I'm closer to God now." And the other 2 were like, "No, we agreed to drop acid because we're questioning the Mormon faith." And at the end, one dude was like, "Yeah, I'm gay. I'm out of here, folks." But they fucked it all up because they did it behind. It was like a folding table that you'd play beer pong on, and 3 seats behind it with a blank wall behind it, and they sat there for 12 hours.
That was a trip?
That's where they did acid, and I'm like,
man.
okay, you got a lot to learn because that is the worst,
Go
most
somewhere
foreign-
else.
Yeah, at one point they literally had to give them like pens and papers so they could color like children because they were just out of their fucking minds.
Yeah.
High as a kite, bored out of their minds.
That's a very
And
weird.
it's like, you have to
way do it.
move around, you have to lie down, stand up.
Timothy Leary had that. He was trying to test it on inmates, and they were like, "Here's your room for acid." He's like, "It's gonna be bad in here. They're gonna have a bad trip in this shitty little jail room."
Yeah, this is gonna go terrible. Can we get Monopoly? Can we get Monopoly in here? That'd lead up 4 hours. There's no way a Monopoly game high on acid lasts any less than 4 hours.
Anyway, we both drank some ayahuasca before this. I'm about ready to vomit and shit myself, so when I get back from that.
I got a good ayahuasca story. I did not do ayahuasca, but I met somebody at the Second City who used to be a lawyer who made like $1 million a year. Quit, published his own book, and then just like lived off of the money. He like downsized his home. He lives off of like $30,000 a year and just the money in his fucking bank account. And he was taking classes at the
And
Second
it
City
turned out
with
it was
us.
all an ayahuasca trip.
No, but he did an ayahuasca trip. He went to the place to do ayahuasca trip, and when you go to a place like that, it's usually like a commune, and there's a toilet for pee and a toilet for poop. I swear to God.
And the one for poop is fuller.
Yeah, and he was pooping, and he was peeing, and he heard somebody peeing in the stall next to him, which was the poop stall, and he's like, "Hey, dude, you can't pee in there." And he's like, "I'm not peeing." This ayahuasca has destroyed my intestine.
No, ayahuasca, like before you trip on ayahuasca, you like explode out of both ends for a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
I have been reading a lot about psychedelic drugs because I'm not cool. I'm reading
You
about
could
them.
just do them. That's totally an option.
Not like on the train though.
No.
Because, you could smoke weed on a train. You can't like do ayahuasca on a train because you'll shit yourself.
You could do acid on a train.
You could. Acid doesn't make you shit yourself.
You can like handle the world on acid to some level before you're just like, okay, his skin's starting to crawl. I need to be away from people.
I don't know. I think on acid might be the only time I want to be on a train with a bunch of people.
Drunk, but
Yeah. They're all fucking just some type of fuck.
alcohol's got to be the best drug, though. I think
That's why we all like it so much.
specific. I think it's white specific, honestly.
It's not like every culture.
Every
it is the best drug for white people.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like the.
Well, no, what it is the white people of drugs.
I was thinking it's that most white people have banned all the other fucking drugs.
So it's kind of
white
default
people
for us.
traditionally are just like, just fucking drink and smoke cigarettes. Just drink and smoke.
It's the white people of drugs, and that for some reason it's the dominant one, even though it's not that good. But I have come to terms with my relationship to it.
Yeah. No, because Chinese people had fucking opium dens for years, thousands of years. They had just opium dens.
Every
It was
every
a bar.
culture does have alcohol, though.
Yeah, but that was just their bar. Was that to just fucking smoke opium like a hookah? And it's like, okay, if that's ingrained in your society, the reason it's so addictive to fucking white people is because we never had that.
Right, and literally, the book I just read, like when there's rituals around drugs, like even as simple as puff puff pass, there's rules around it. It's not just get as fucked as possible immediately. There's rules and rituals around it, and that stops some level of abuse. So then when you do like designer drugs and research chemicals or drugs that have no place in your society.
Yeah. Because if you could go to an opium den, there's a drunk guy at the bar right now. There's a drunk guy at a bar right now, but he knows that he's fucking up. His family knows he's fucking up. There's a stigma around it.
It's 2:30 right now, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. There's a stigma around it that's just like, okay, I need to get help. But if you can't go to an opium den and see people responsibly enjoying opium while you are fucking faced.
Or maybe not. Or there's people that don't get help. But if you specifically create a society that has no place for drugs, people are still going to do the drugs, and there will be no safeguard to, oh, I'm not doing this right because I'm seeing disapproval. Whereas, and I said the same shit about Dare. Dare was like, if you do marijuana, you fucked. If you do heroin, you fucked. And then someone smoked weed and was like, this is good. I bet heroin is also good.
Yeah.
It's not.
Heroin's okay. Heroin's like all right. I mean, don't inject it, but...
Heroin's the one I'm not going to do. If things went really bad, I might even do meth.
I've never done heroin either.
Do you know there's meth and MDMA?
Yeah, they're like...
It's what the MA is. Methamphetamine.
Well, it's a different chemical compound, so it's just...
It is, yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, if you add... There was
it's like
some funny one.
Methyl diazepam. It's not diazepam.
I know, but there was some funny one. It's like if you add one chemical, one extra branch to an apple, like a branch of the chemical composition of an apple, it's a nuclear bomb or something like that. So it's
it's insane how that shit.
Yeah, so it's like, yeah, they're similar, but not exactly the same.
Like H2O and H2O2.
I don't like ecstasy. I think there's something fucked up with my head because it's supposed to just release like oxytocin, but for me it releases anxiety.
Interesting.
I'm like, this is terrible.
You
Molly
also don't
fun.
like weed. Maybe you just don't enjoy being happy.
No, Molly, because Molly mixes opiates and MDMA, so it has the downer that I need because it has too much meth in it.
There's too much meth in this.
My Molly. Drugs are fun.
Fucking, what's his name? Gordon Ramsay. Like, there's too much fucking meth in this. I've eaten it.
What do you want to do? Clean your whole fucking neighborhood? Get off it.
And feel really good about it.
Well, no. Whenever I get done doing Adderall, I always feel terrible. It's never a good day afterwards.
I'm going to have to show you that book I just finished reading, The Brief History of Vice, because
every
single type of drug that he could find in history that would not be illegal to try, he tried it. And there was one thing that he did with mushrooms that was like, not magic mushrooms, but something similar. But it was literally just like, feel pretty good. I like the wind. That tree is very nice. Lots of smiling. And you're allowed to just buy that mushroom and then if you got to prepare it right, otherwise you'll shit yourself and feel very bad and maybe die. But
Jesus. Well, that's the downside. That's why I like acid better than mushrooms, is because mushrooms, I have never not shit my pants on mushrooms. Every time I get mushrooms, it is a horrible stomach. My stomach has a very bad trip. The rest of me is fine.
That's why you got to read this book, because he's going to know it.
I know it.
It's the same guy that does Behind the Bastards that wrote this.
Nice. I had one mushroom once. Somebody stencil or somebody like a soldering iron the word Bernie in the side of it. Like Bernie Sanders.
It's not like ecstasy, folks. We're not putting logos on the mushroom.
It was such a big fucking mushroom. They're like Bernie. There's full giant spacing between the letters. A big bitch. It was awesome.
I bet Bernie's done mushrooms.
I'd be shocked if he hadn't. I feel like he's smoking a bong right now. Fade to.
No, he's working on something that'll never work right now. He's working on something good that will be destroyed.
At least he's still working.
I don't know. He's supporting that new mayor of Buffalo who's cool, so.
That's good.
Yay.
All right, I'm glad we have AOC and Bernie. AOC to take up the mantle.
I'm far enough left that I don't trust her anymore.
Why not?
She's going to do politician stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, no, basically, she's not a socialist. She's a sock dem, which is good.
Better. You get what you get.
Better. I mean, if they still have the same fundamental problems, but it'd be nice if we were like, it's like you can't stop all the poor people from dying. There is a dead end to what you can do with capitalism, but it'd be better if we stopped some of them from dying.
We should aerosol dose all of Congress. That'd be fucking amazing.
Okay. Now this is a dorm room in 1969.
I realized it when I said it. You're right. Touche.
Oh, my dad just texted me. How's your birthday going? I don't know. It's weird. I have many pathologies, and this is one of them.
We should go drink tonight, man. You like to drink. You like people.
I do sometimes.
If you change your mind, man, let me know. I'm down. I don't got anything going on.
I'm going to work soon.
Yeah, so do I. I work with you.
Yeah, but you miss most of those.
I do miss a lot of them. But
I need to talk to a therapist about my opinion about my own birthday.
Because you're just like, I don't care. But I mean, I guess you did just drink pretty heavily for the past few days. So maybe,
I did. I was doing stuff, but no. Also, it's like it's just because it's the day.
Yeah.
It's just if you like hang out with me, just do it. And if you only do it on the one day, now I'm like, it seems obligatory, and that is my greatest fear.
Who's only doing it? Who are you only hanging out with on your birthday?
I mean, there's a lot of people that mainly text me on my birthday.
Oh,
well, no, actually, no. Everyone has most people that have texted me today, I actively hang out with.
Yeah.
But it's...
So your fears will not be realized.
Thank you is copy-pasted. Thank you, exclamation point, is on my phone clipboard right now.
Yes, that is correct. You are doing etiquette. That's how everybody does it.
I don't like
Nobody.
it. I'm gonna be mad about it. I'm gonna do it and I'm gonna be mad about it.
Nobody likes it. Just so we're clear. Nobody. Everybody hates getting the 1,000 fucking birthday messages they get 5 minutes after they start getting them. So like you'll get when you wake up in the morning, your phone's flooded. You're like, this feels nice, and then throughout the whole day, your job is responding to those texts. So the first 3 seconds, neat. Other than that, awful.
No, but we can't just get out of it. When I was 15, I was like, why don't we just stop doing etiquette? But like you have to be like, do you want to get coffee? And so, but then they can be like, I actually don't like coffee, because then people don't want to be like, do you want to fuck? No, I don't want to fuck you. So you have to say coffee.
It would be easier if we could just be like, you know what? I tried that once. Did not work. Let me tell you.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I've tried. It doesn't. Well, I don't know, man. Yeah, I mean, you don't.
I don't know.
It is a Wednesday. I guess you don't need to get fucked up on a Wednesday.
I mean, I don't.
But I'm free.
I don't believe in that. But
I think I'm free like tonight and Saturday if you want to get drunk. And there's like,
let's just do a different day. I'm very tired.
Yeah, I'm free Saturday.
And then we're not saying it's because of my birthday. You just have to buy me a drink because
I have tokens I want to use at the Uptown. Or we could just go to Potbelly's because that place is awesome.
I think I have a token for Potbelly's.
Or we could go
from when your sister threw a fucking drink at me by mistake.
What happened?
At the bar crawl. I think it was I don't remember what happened, but she did something with her arms, and then my drink was all over me.
Well, it's a bar crawl. That'll happen.
No, yeah.
That was a good night, despite shattering my fucking.
It's a good night, despite a couple of things today.
Well, that mostly.
Apparently, Sarah Baika was furious at Christy for something.
Yeah, and Ramon was being creepy or something like that too.
He's being weird. I don't know if was he being creepy.
Just weird, I think. Both. D, all of the above.
Yeah.
He was being colored. Like,
he's barely. No, he was in the Uber on the way to the first place. He was talking about like, I don't know what's in that vaccine. And then he did put a lot of liquor in his body.
You don't know what's in that liquor, motherfucker.
It's a good thing you got too drunk and hit and bashed your hand, because that's when I stopped drinking. And had I not at that point, I would have probably not bashed my hand. I would have just been like, I would have fought someone to defend someone's honor or something. Or...
that nobody asked for. That's when you stopped drinking, was when I shattered my hand?
Actually, I might have been like nursing a seltzer at that point.
The drinking certainly slowed. I just remember Kylie seeing my shattered hand and walking away and just be like, you can deal with this. I'm like, that's hilarious.
It got handled.
In a cast. We did it. We did it, folks.
You got insurance. I
do have insurance. I maxed out my deductible before I broke my hand, so I'm fucking good, man.
There you go.
Exactly. That's the time to break your hand.
I got 1 year left of any insurance.
I have less than 1 year left. Mine's in March.
Oh, I have exactly 1 year left. I literally forgot it was the day of my birthday, and I was like, my birthday's around
this
now.
This means very little to you.
It does, because you people aren't my therapist.
So exhausted. It does, because
because it's my
fucking
responsibility to process this and then be normal about it. But it's a lot, man. So much to work on.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the fact that you just spent fucking 3 days binge drinking away from your bed
and with people
constantly is not ideal.
Like all of them.
You never do. You never will. Let's go back to 1 star.
It's the only good place in the world. 1 star is like West Berlin, because New York is the bad guys, but there's that one little enclave in there. 1
star is just holding it together. 1 star is a little part of Brooklyn inside of Manhattan.
No, Brooklyn's all pretentious and expensive too.
Brooklyn was not that expensive.
I mean, we got $100 tattoos that are the size of a dime.
Yeah, we went to a slightly pretentious spot in Brooklyn. I don't know. I'd like.
I think that's all.
What's a house in Brooklyn cost?
It was
$90,000.
Williamsburg. It was Williamsburg. So
What's a house in Brooklyn cost? $90,000. $1 million. Huh.
a lot.
Literally, it's the mayors of New York who were guessing how much a house in Brooklyn cost, and none of them guessed over 100,000. The people running to be the mayor, none of them guessed over 100,000, and the average cost is $1 million.
And which is gonna, it's supposed to be like, oh, these guys are out of touch. No, the people who run things are out of these guys. No, the shit people like. What was it? I think in the trial of the Chicago 7, which was a movie about good people by morons. At some point, someone was like, "How do you overthrow a government peacefully?" And Sacha Baron Cohen was like, "In this country, we do it every 4 years." No, it's the same people. It's the same people that don't know what bread costs.
But that was a good line, though.
It was a good line, and that is what liberalism consists of. A lot of good lines about poignant subjects and nothing worthwhile.
And then useless here on out.
But it's the same people that are in charge. That's why the American Revolution wasn't a revolution. Because it was the people who were already in charge of America under a king were like, we're going to keep being in charge of America without him.
Yeah.
An American Revolution would have been like black people and Native Americans would have been the main fighters in that one.
That's, I mean, really just the Native. Honestly, almost entirely the Native Americans too, because they got a pretty short end on that stick.
They both got fucked pretty hard.
Everybody, yeah. I'm just talking about a revolution because there's an invading force.
It wouldn't have been, if they had done it early enough, it wouldn't have even been a revolution. It would have just been a defensive war.
Yeah. It would have been Cuba again.
And the Louisiana Purchase cracks me up, too, because, like, that was, I mean, there were people there, and then one European country sold it to another, basically. And they were just selling the right to kill those Native Americans.
Yeah, it's like, well, you didn't, it's that fucking movie, God damn it, what's the name of the movie?
Dances with Wolves.
The answer is 34. What's the meaning of life? The answer is 34. Hitchhiker's
42.
Guide to the Galaxy. 42.
You're thinking of Rule 34, which is porn.
The answer is 34 then. I double down.
Babelfish Rule 34.
Yeah, so Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, where it's like you could have petitioned this at any point in your galactic office, and it's like, we don't know what that is. The exact thing that the Native Americans were doing.
Yeah, you could have petitioned this at any time through your senator. You didn't give us those.
You could have bought the land yourself. We don't have currency.
We don't do that, because guess what? It sucks.
Because we don't know. Yeah, I love the one Native American quote, like, we fucking, all we did was hunt, fish, and fuck, and I'm so glad that they improved on that. It's like, and life expectancy, it wasn't like, you didn't even have the thing like, oh, life expectancy will improve, because back then it didn't. They were
it wasn't
there was
like
no benefit. It was just
but look at all the things
capitalism.
Native Americans have now with all this. They could have also built that maybe a little bit slower, because they were like, let's consider the effects of what this does.
Because they had bow and arrow, and I mean, they had stone, and they were past the Stone Age because they were using wood in the bow and arrow, the teepee, all that shit. They were industrial.
I mean, technology does definitely, like, it spikes in one place and then has to get shared, because there is that island off of India where they still just have bows and arrows, and they're all happier than us, by the way. But also, like, if it's fine, like, yeah, it's better now than it was in 1776. The Native Americans still would have made some shit between then and now.
Yeah, something would have happened. No opportunities were presented.
It's fun to watch when, not to be too woke politics, but hopefully the good soul of woke politics without the scolding. It's interesting to see people say things that are like, oh, that's racist, and you don't even know it. It's just like when people say, like, well, you know, one of the reasons that crime happens is like cultures of abandonment, by which they mean, man, those black dudes keep leaving their kids behind
because they go to prison.
Right, and if you walk it back enough, it becomes skull shapes. But people using those arguments don't even realize that. Yeah. People who say culture of abandonment say, I'm being very careful to say it's culture, But what they're still doing is it's their fault, so we don't have to do anything about it.
No, it's like it's their fault that they've been poor and disenfranchised for generations. Why wouldn't they just not do that?
Right.
Like the Trump post, like it's crazy. All these Trump supporters, when Trump supporters do stuff, they do it on a boat rally. When Biden supporters do it, they're all walking. What does that say? Well, one of these people has money.
Yeah.
And if we've learned anything from anything ever, usually the guy with the money is probably an asshole. 9 times out of 10.
Usually.
Yeah.
Yes.
There are some
It's
good
all
ones.
so
There are
bad.
good rich people. Were you screaming about this in Wisconsin?
No, I was on a boat in Wisconsin. It was a shitty boat though, because you had to, in order to start it, you had to like ram the choke all the way up, and you could not gently put it in gear. You had to choke down all the way back. And if you wanted to change from reverse to forward, you had to put it in neutral, let it die, bring the choke up, turn it back on, choke down all the way forward.
Hell yeah. What fucking boat was
It's a pontoon boat. It's mainly just for fishing and jumping off of.
Nice. Which is the correct usage of a boat, unless there's no, because there was no speed limits on your lake, right?
Not real ones, but socially enforced ones, where if you go to the bar and you've been on a speedboat, they'll be like, you get your scaring fish.
Fuck you. Is my answer.
It is a very sleepy fishing lake in the middle of fucking nowhere.
Okay.
There's no cell service.
Different. Lake of the Ozarks. That's the place to be. I had a lawyer hit me up over the weekend as we were like, no, it was a good thing. We were about to step out to go down to Kylie's lake house, and he was like, "Hey, dude, what are you doing?" And I was like, "About to go to my fiance's lake house," and he's like, "Oh, I need somebody to come to Belmont Harbor and drive my boat for $500." I was like, I would have done that. I made my case to Kylie of like, it's $500, and she's like, "We have to go now." And I'm like, "Yeah, fine." It's a little late notice.
Mine tried to get me to come out the night before I went to Wisconsin, and I was like, "No, I'm going to a lake house," and she's like, "Whatever, it's Connor and Kylie are going to be there, and you're going with that, so just like come out now, it's fine." And I was like, "It's not their lake house." She's like, "Oh, but I have other friends with lake houses."
I'm not alone. Well, you
Bigger, cooler lake too, with eagles.
With eagles.
There are like a shitload of eagles up there.
All we have is hawks. Damn it.
We were seeing them fish. They would like fly in the water and then grab the fish.
No
and
fucking
then
way.
fly close enough over so that we could hear their wings.
That's so.
And then we never got to throw a fish to them. It never coincided that we had a fish in our hand at the same time that it was over.
Around. Damn, that's so cool. That would have been badass. Just, yeah.
I should have been high, but there were too many people around.
Mm.
But if I could have been high watching eagles hunt, I probably would have developed. I probably would have jumped a year ahead into my political theories. That inspiration.
I would have been way crazier by the time I got back.
Oh, the fish is like the black vote, and the eagle is like the liberal media. They just grab it with their talons. Get off the Democrat plantation.
Run, fish. Run. Swarm away. Fucking great. I'm glad to hear that you went slowly insane.
Saw a bird.
So that is actually, yes, no, that's what I was doing.
It is cool to see birds.
It is. I appreciate birds.
Bird watchers, if I ever fucked with you guys or made fun of you, sorry. It is cool to see birds, and I like to know their names.
A few times.
They were also loons.
I want to
osprey.
see eagles and hawks, pretty much. I want to see predatory birds.
You also like osprey because they dive bomb the water.
Yeah, those things are badass.
And loons make cool, spooky noises.
Hmm?
A loon?
They make spooky noises?
See, it's fairly spooky to me. I think if you didn't
Are
know
you
it was a
afraid
loon.
of birds?
No. I think if you heard a loon make a noise, and we're not putting it in. Google a loon when you get out of the car, folks. If you heard a loon noise and you didn't know it was a loon and you were alone in the woods.
If I heard a fucking cricket and I didn't know it was a cricket and I was alone in the woods, I'd shit my pants.
Possibly.
It's that applies to any noise.
But if you
I get what
found
you're
fucking
saying.
berries in the woods, would you be afraid of them and not eat them?
No. But if I saw a loon in the woods, I'd be afraid of it?
No, if you saw just berries in the woods, would you just eat those berries?
No, hell no.
Really? Call your sister.
No, those are mulberries. I know those berries.
Really?
Did you not
Well,
eat
I
those?
didn't shit myself yesterday, so.
Yeah, those are mulberries. If I saw a berry that I knew in the woods, I would eat it. Those are mulberries. Those things are fucking delicious.
They're okay.
they're kind of bland, but you eat them in like fistfuls at a time, so they're really good.
They made it look like I had blood on my hand.
That's a mulberry. They're very good.
Okay, mulberries it is. I was for a while. Christy was just like, "Oh, berries! I'm gonna eat a bunch of these," and I was like, I was in the Boy Scouts, and
they're not very nutritious. Like you couldn't survive off of them, but they're good, and they'll fill you up. She also ate fungus the other day. She found like the chicken mushrooms or something like that. So they call it the chicken of the
mushrooms
woods.
Oh yeah, the mushrooms that you can turn into. Just put chicken on the can. It's not chicken in the sea. Chicken's on the land, fish in the sea. Someone will get that.
I think I do, but barely.
It's Seinfeld.
Okay.
With something about chicken of the sea tuna. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just put mushrooms on the can.
You fuck. I think a lot of Seinfeld jokes would be way better if you just ended them with "you fucking assholes." Just call it tuna, you fucking asshole. Like that kind of shit.
Why are there razor blade receptacles on planes? Are people shaving so frequently that they're using up razor blades? You fucking assholes. You're lying.
Way better. That is Louis.
I'm allowed to date a 17-year-old. You fucking assholes.
Louis C. Seinfeld. Everybody, Louis C. Seinfeld.
Seinfeld CK. He jerked off non-consensually in front of a
minor. He's a real bad guy. Jesus. Cunts in cars getting coffee. Comedians.
Hey, I'm Jerry Seinfeld. I'm going to do a show about how I have a shitload of really cool cars, and then I'm going to bitch in the media. I love Seinfeld's comedy. I fucking hate that man. He has a show about how he has everything he ever wanted, and then he comes on TV and is just shitty to people.
Yeah, he got it. He's one of the bad ones for sure. It's like he'll talk to people in very hurtful ways, just observing it. I'm like, I hope he's busting their balls, but I know he's not.
No, he went on Seth Meyers and was like, "What do you want? I didn't want to come here, Seth Meyers. You tell me what to talk about." Even though I'm a guest on your show.
And Seth Meyers just had to play it off like he was getting his balls
because
busted.
it's Seinfeld.
Yeah.
Seinfeld's a prick.
Seinfeld's a prick.
Great movie, though.
What?
B-movie.
The movie Seinfeld's a prick?
No, B-movie. Seinfeld's butt pricks people.
A movie about a chick who wanted to fuck a bee. It's a great film. I'd fuck a bee.
It's weird how that...
That's the plot of the movie.
Yeah.
What if it was a bee, but you could fuck it?
Of course, Jerry Seinfeld is not privy to our
the bee
size difference quotient on fucking animals, which is that bees are too small.
The bee represents a teenager, which is why he made the movie. It's like, what if it was a teenager, but you could fuck it? Jerry, we can't do that. Okay, what if it was a bee, but you could fuck it? Whoa.
Weird enough that they won't know that you were going from predatory behavior to get here, Jerry.
Let's pretend we didn't hear that first one. We'll pick you up. We'll pick that movie.
I just really want to know the story of how B-movie happened.
Jerry Seinfeld was asked for a script, and he was like, fuck.
Or no. Jerry Seinfeld wrote a script that was fucking insane. And people were like, he is Jerry Seinfeld.
And then it worked, is the crazy part.
It's an okay movie.
Yeah,
it's not bad.
It's a B movie.
It is. It really is. It really is.
Honestly.
No, because a B movie is better than that.
No,
meaning it's worse and more fun to watch.
No, I think a B movie is that movie. I think that's like what I would rate it, not if it was not the production.
Then
value.
what's Samurai Cop?
No. I'm saying that's like a D movie. I'm saying the rating is a B, not the production value is a B. It is an A production value. It's an A AAA movie, but it's a B.
Okay, but a B movie to me is not a movie that's like just okay. It's a movie that's awful and fun to watch.
I used it for the pun, you bastard.
This matters.
Does it? Does it?
Not at fucking all.
Not even a little. Dude, I don't want to fucking do anything today. I'm dying.
I don't want to do anything. What's that from?
My life.
You can't make me do anything. What is that from?
Free Britney Spears.
They can make her do things, and it's bad.
They keep doing it. I have no idea, man.
You can't make me do anything.
No,
it's a Vine. It's from a Vine.
No, I'm not gonna suck it. I found so I've been on. I literally started using TikTok last night. My TikTok algorithm immediately was like, "Would you like hot chicks because you started at 4 a.m., you fucking pervert.
Jerk off to porn, weirdo.
Well, I just couldn't sleep, so I was like, I'll check out TikTok. It's been a while.
Yeah.
But one of the first ones I found was a lesbian couple, and one of them just yells like pickup lines at the other.
I know that.
And she's like a Midwesterner, so she reacts with the human version of Ope.
Yeah, I'm
every
so
super
fucking tired of
sexual
them.
line.
I think it's Haley and Kendra. Is her
Because
name?
it's visibly rehearsed.
Yes.
It's
No. What it was, they did 2 or 3 where she
Real
surprised her,
ones.
and she was like, "Can't believe you said that my head should be in your thighs or something." And now they just
They rehearse them, and it's like, just do. You could still just get an honest reaction. Honestly,
I feel like if you live in a house constantly of your wife coming up to you like, "Your ears look cold. I put earmuffs in my thighs." You'd be like, "Yeah, okay, I get it."
Yeah, I guess that's fair. Well, maybe then
That's the problem with turning your life into content.
content. Yeah, that is a lot of TikTok is turning your spouse into content.
Just whatever you're doing now, it's content.
Which I've seen it done well once, and when it was the guy, it was one of those the van life people, but they have an RV, so it's like rich van life.
Yeah, it's yeah.
So
I have indigestion over that, but
that's gonna be my life soon. So you better not.
no, because you're not going to pretend that it's not in. Like, you're not going to pretend like this is actually a more sustainable way to live, and I think people should look into it. You'd be like, yeah, I have the ability to do this, and I'm going to.
It's fucking awesome. Yeah, no, I'm gonna treat it as a fucking. If I have kids, this RV gets sold immediately. Like, because all of them are like
that.
no, there are so many that are like, yeah, we got 3 kids in this RV. And I'm like, well, you're teaching them online school, so they're not learning. They're just not.
Your kids are going to be freaks. They're going to live the rest of their lives on the road killing people.
You're homeschooling your kids. You realize that, right? So, no, but they did it right where the dude is like, I love TikTok. I would love to be on TikTok. I am too lazy to do the TikToking. And the girl was like, he's pretty funny on camera, and I'm like, I like doing TikTok, so I'm going to make him the content. And he is like, okay. And that's the way to do it.
That seems fine.
That is, because that's what I keep telling Kylie to do.
Because if it's just them doing what they're doing and someone else...
Yeah, exactly. No. So she records him.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, so it's just like, it works out fucking perfectly.
Well, there's so many stories of... Like, there was this one where a girl set up a hidden camera.
Beat the shit.
Just killed. Well, actually, sort of.
The Ope girl is dead.
No, she was like, pretend I'm another girl hitting on you. What would you do? And the guy was just like, no, please, she hits me. And that was funny. And now they do a bunch of those, and all of the new ones are staged. It was funny initially when it was a spur of the moment thing that guy did. Also, by the way, all those TikTok relationshipy things are because this is the loneliest era of human history, and our entertainment is now watching other people have connections.
Ooh, I should do it then. You're telling me I could get famous on TikTok?
Yes, no, you could.
Yay! Like you're
just
glossing over a huge moral message here, but yes, yay!
I was trying to make a moral point about how this is bad for our society. I mean, yeah, no. The story of your life is get fucking to it. You're not going to make things any worse.
I'm a dumb guy who stumbles backwards into things. But I would recommend it.
Well, it's tolerable when you're aware of that.
I am. It's great. You haven't? I'm getting a new car tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's a 2021 Hyundai Kona SEL Plus with all-wheel drive. I'm excited.
Yeah. Is there a dildo in the front seat? I don't care about those numbers.
I don't know if there's anything cool. It's not a stick shift, but it is an all-wheel drive. So
okay,
that's the cool part of the car.
That's nice.
And usually, when you think you get I'll never mind. I want to get an RV.
You talking about cars is very funny to me. I don't think anyone else.
No, I stopped. It's a 300,000-mile car.
I know it is. I know.
The fuck is this, dude? When I have such a problem with getting so goddamn bullheaded when I'm drunk. If I find a path that I like, I stick to it when I'm drunk. So if I find a conversation that I like, I'll repeat.
That was not you being. That went for months.
No, I know.
Do you remember the time that I was in another room with Kylie?
That's
and I was
what
like,
it's
Kylie, Kylie, watch this. Connor, how long do you think a Miata would run? And you're like, honestly, it's like a 300,000-mile car.
When I get passionate about something, it does consume me. It is frustrating. But
Yeah, no, I mean, me too. It's just about cool things like becoming furious about politics or the lore of Skyrim.
That's why if your man has ever said, give him a map and give him
Right,
two
just
destinations, because that is every man is at least a little bit passionate about, except for Senjin Rip, but every man is a little bit passionate about being like, how do I get from what am I gonna do?
I swear to God, if I ever wrote a sitcom, there would be a scene where the husband character that I play, like Bob Newhart, calls from another room like, Honey, you can get from New York to Wyoming on the same interstate. All right, that's nice, dear. No, my dad's still sick.
I'm stunned that isn't a character archetype that has been played out by Hollywood yet.
Map guy.
No, not even map guy. Just like the dude who's like overly passionate about the dumbest fucking shit. Because
we need positive male role models, which are
that guy.
Guys that are dumbly consumed with a hobby.
Spencer from iCarly. Is that his name?
Sort
Spencer?
of. He actually is a good male role model.
Yeah, no, because he did the butter sculpture and he was obsessed with it. And then when it's done, when the episode's over, he moves on. So it's like you could just gain a new obsession, and then some of them stay for weeks, some of them are overarching through the whole thing, and then they move. Yeah, that's a good male role model because he's always an artist, so that's the big one. And then he has projects, which is a bunch of small ones, and then there are some where he has a project for like episodes or a big release. That's honestly an archetype that should be used way more. Is Spencer. I
would like to go to that place in Rick and Morty where they leave Jerry. And they
for you
try and set up a stereo.
Oh yeah.
Literally, we at this lake house there was a rope swing that was like wouldn't work in the state it was in. So the three men that were there were standing in a half circle around it, like, no, well, if we did this to it, and they were like, can we go on the rope swing? And we were like, we're working on the rope swing. Hold on. It's like, yeah, so no, the knot's got to come lower now.
Yeah, what do you think fucking the Rubik's Cube sold so well? Because everybody's like,
No, the Rubik's Cube is not a collective endeavor.
Yeah.
The cool thing is when like a group of people, usually men, gather around something that doesn't matter and really commit themselves to like, we're gonna make this work.
I'm gonna build a shelf, like
that
kind of shit.
Yeah, we're gonna build a shelf and we're gonna scream at it when it doesn't work. And
then we'll fix it.
We built a fucking excellent rope swing.
That's the reason.
There are 3 ropes involved, and if we had a fucking pulley, I swear to God, what we could have done.
What the hell did you do to this monstrosity?
So rope swing with like a board knotted into it so you can sit on the board.
Okay.
So we wanted to be able to have people pull it backwards. And then let it go.
Nice.
But when you did that, the rope got more and more horizontal, so it was harder and harder to hold on. More and more ball destruction.
Yeah.
So we tied
ball
something.
Destruction?
Oh, they still hurt. And
how was it destroying your balls, though?
Because the board wasn't that big.
So it was a vertical, not a horizontal board?
No, it was horizontal.
So you just sit on the board.
But the board was not wide. It was.
Okay.
And as it got more horizontal, either you're hanging onto it like a sloth, which is not sustainable, or you're on top of it and it's crushing your balls. Various other ball crushing.
It's a lot of ball-based
so we tied a rope above where the person's hands would be, so then when you pull it back, the rope above them gets horizontal, but it's still dangling down.
Nice.
And the best part of this is my sister's boyfriend is an engineer, and me and my dad kept using terms like fulcrum and radius, and I guarantee he was
wrong.
Like, these fucking morons.
That's not.
Yeah, but we made it work. We got the swing to work.
We knew what we were saying. It's fucking great.
I'm injured in several places.
Well, yeah, that's you went on a trip.
It
that's
happens. Look, I have an ouchie on my hand.
That's what's supposed to happen. Honestly, half the reason I want to get an RV and drive it everywhere is because I want to get a 2006 RV that's going to break down every once in a while.
What does this part do?
Exactly.
My sister never used to drive my car. She's like, sometimes you have to like it in the middle of driving it. You got to fix something. I'm like, yeah, it's cool.
It's a fun car.
Now I know how to fix that when that happens.
That's why Kylie. That's why I want to get an old Miata, and that's why Kylie wants to get. Kylie wants to get an old Jeep because they're cool, and I support her in getting an old Jeep because I'll have to fix it.
Plus, old Jeeps are the ones that
break.
Are made of old Jeeps are better than new Jeeps.
Oh yeah.
Kylie could ram an old Jeep into the curb several more times before what happened to this one.
Before the frame bent. Yeah, we want to. The only shitty part about having to fix Kylie's car when she wants to drive it is that now I'm on a deadline. Where if my car breaks down, I can fix it whenever.
When
the fuck
it's
I
just a
want.
project for whenever it's
Yeah,
recreational.
There's no deadline. But if I have to fix Kylie's car, then it's like I'll probably just half the time fix it and half the time be like, just take it to a fucking mechanic. Tow it. I don't care.
I have become a car guy in the most yuppie way. And then I'm like, my car gets like lots of miles to the gallon.
The way to become a car guy is when shit breaks, you fix it.
That's why I need to buy a shittier car.
Yeah.
I bought a working car for the first time, and I have lost a lot of knowledge of cars.
Have you heard about owning 2 cars?
No.
Have you heard about that? Because people do that. It's crazy, but they do it.
Yeah, there's parking spaces here. Lots of people have driveways. I have the street.
Well, even in your neighborhood, somebody got like a 1972 Chevelle or some shit like that.
They do. They have a very cool old car. Yeah. And the license plate says Fidel, by the way.
Hell
and
yeah!
I think it might be. Yeah.
Oh, dude, that's awesome. Well, I mean, sucks for him if that's
I hope
where his
he
life
dies
is
and
gone.
it turns out his next of kin is his neighbor. Who want that car?
Yeah,
Better be before
honestly,
August.
Go get well, you don't have anywhere to work on it. Is the big problem. Neither do I. That's why.
I'd have to find a spot to.
I don't have anywhere to work on mine.
I could buy a parking space, but no.
Yeah, no. Sounds like a hassle. Not on our salary, also. Honestly, that is probably going to be the fucking move at some point. Is I'm just going to get, once I get a driveway, I'm going to get a shitty Miata, and every once in a while, I'm going to call you. I'm going to call you and be like, you want to come to fucking probably mess up? You probably end up taking this to a mechanic because we fuck something up.
Do you want to come and lean on over an open hood with me and go, no, but if we I'm telling you, if we do this. No, I know, but fine, we can do it. I'm telling you, if we did
We're going to fuck it up. And both of us were wrong. I took it to, because the check engine light has just come on my Elantra, by the way, which I'm getting a new car tomorrow. But I'm buying it, and then they're sending it to me. So I'm like, I hope I'm really timing it out on my car.
Get it fixed before you sell it to my sister.
I think I don't know what it is, but no. The price is rapidly decreasing on how much I'm going to charge it for it. Like, just spend the money in repairs. Because honestly, if you get whatever the hell this noise is, or this check engine light is taken care of, and then put the engine blocks on, you got a fucking good-ass car. Because I just did everything else. Brand new tires, tie rods, fucking brakes, pads, AC, AC tensioner belt, serpentine belt, everything.
All the parts.
All the parts except for the engine mounts and whatever this one is. And it's
only buy this car.
Well, you can have it, but pay my taxes on me selling you this car or whatever the fuck, however that works. But yeah, I want to go get it checked out and see what that is. But but if I get it checked out and it's like, it's going to be an expensive one, I'll be like, fuck you.
No, it's not.
I'll be the guy who Ubers around for a while. I'm going to scrap this car, and the $250 I make scrapping it will pay for my Ubers until I get my next car. Because me and Kylie are staggering her car, because her car's gone. She's driving her mom's car right now.
Right.
Until her car comes in.
Which is a Jaguar that's not stick shift, so why do you even want a cool car?
I don't even understand it. I should make her get a stick shift Jeep. That's what we do.
Yes, you should.
When she gets that.
And just learn how to do it.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
And also, I can change a differential. I'm going to fuck up the timing and immediately take it to a mechanic, but then he won't have to put it in cheaper. And then I can.
I'm just not going to do that.
You need a special thing to get the timing right on a differential. Because that's what your clutch. I've been meaning to say.
I was
clutch
like,
this entire
why is a differential related to this? That's in the back of the wheels.
No, I'm pretty sure you're wrong. I've been meaning to say clutch this entire time, but yeah, fucking burn out a clutch. I don't give a shit.
I mean, you can replacing a clutch is
blink blink.
I mean, if your car is well built enough, you should.
Well,
replace
and
a clutch.
90s Jeep, you have full 90 Jeeps are built to be worked on. Like your fucking car is a nightmare to work on because everything's as compact as possible, and engine.
The engine in a Jeep is like 3 times smaller than it could be in that compartment. Yeah,
you could they design them so it's like you ever want to put a fucking Hellcat engine in here, you can.
My fucking Volvo had a time. I mean, the poor 4-cylinder engine. Anytime it went up a hill with that steel station wagon from the 90s was problematic. But there's so much room in there.
That was the Firebird too. It was a giant steel car with a 4-cylinder, tiny little block. You could fit a baby in between the engine and the front of the car.
And we did all the time. If your baby was sweating, that's what you did. It was the 80s.
It was the 80s. Nobody cared.
Come on, man. It was
cocaine.
the 80s.
Everybody's on cocaine. It is crazy that I found a base model Firebird, because it's like you're gonna buy a Firebird, which is inherently a second car, and you don't get any of the upgrades. You get everything stock, and I'm like, dude, either buy a worse second car,
like, get a car with upgrades that's not a Firebird.
Exactly. Just get. Oh, I don't know what the guy was going for. I mean, maybe that was because you would have just upgraded the engine, because they had like V8 engines on the fucking Firebird. But I think it was just the one that nobody ever sold. It sat on a lot for.
That's what. Yeah, it probably wasn't sold to a guy who then later sold it,
because it had 90,000 miles on it, and it was an 84. It is doing a lot of sin.
I'm a very boring car guy at this point. I'm like, my car's very reliable. Gets very good gas mileage.
Dude,
gas mileage. I didn't even mean to do that.
It's impossible to work on your car as it is now. You gotta have a fucking degree. It's crazy.
Yeah, no.
Like, it's not mechanical anymore. It's digital. So it's just like you have to understand.
I think literally the fucking gear shifting is the only thing that's not digital on my car.
And you had the option to make it that way.
Yeah.
You could have been digital. The steering in my car is digital. I'm like, what happens if the power steering goes out? Like, your car stops. I'm like, I've driven cars without power steering multiple times.
Yeah, it's a bit of a pain in the ass.
And they're like, well, you can't. I'm like, you guys are bastards.
Well, it's fucking.
It's cool though. The digital steering is fucking tight, like a race car. Oh yeah, the dog wants to go.
I just want to never have to worry about my car, basically.
You did it,
and then I want a second car that I can fuck with.
That's you can do that.
Which I at some point maybe.
Well, yeah. Once you gotta have a driveway or a garage.
Yeah, I might. Maybe I won't. I like apartments.
Yeah, but then you gotta know where to put it. You gotta have a place to work on it. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, or you just get a shitty Miata, and when I need to, I'll get my. Yeah, you have to have the Miata and the kid, and so when I feel like interacting with those things.
There you go. You don't want the character development of having to interact with them.
I've actually decided I either never want kids or I would be a stay-at-home dad. Because if having kids is what I did, then I would have a kid.
Mm-hmm. Me and Kylie are constantly battling of who gets to be the stay-at-home parent, and unfortunately, I'm winning as the breadwinner.
Yeah,
which sucks. I don't want to be.
No, it's so fucking like if I could focus on having a kid, I would take that responsibility. But if it's like you got to do it in addition to the other stuff, I know that kid is gonna have a hole in that soft spot very quickly.
Because that's where I'm going to be putting out my cigarettes.
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, if you're like an anti-feminist worried about women acting more like men, they can't stay home and have kids. Everybody has to have a job now, and if you have to do that, I'm parroting another podcast right now, but if it made a lot of sense. Like, if you have to go have a career, then yeah, you want to get it paid the same and treated the same.
Yeah. Everybody deserves more money. Get them, and by I mean the mac and cheese that I've left sitting out on the counter and the dog who is jingling the bells. That's who we're going to go get. Hour 10. All
right. Well, there should be one stay-at-home parent that doesn't do a job, but they can have whatever kind of genitals they want, folks. It's still wrong if the kid sees them.
I prefer both sets of genitals.
I think that children need... And I don't believe in gay marriage because children need a male and a female role model. The only exception is if one of them is a hermaphrodite. If you've got Klinefelters, you can be a single mom.
And you could honestly just be a single parent. You don't need anybody to be with you. So there you go.
I mean, if you got money, Christ.
All right, see you, folks. Get them, buy our stuff. Don't kill yourself.
Did you put the fridge one in the...
Oh, no, but I will this time.
We'll do this one. Donate to the people in Oregon because we've made the planet very hot and it's bad over there.